You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Light, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls, tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Union 0430. This is episode
164.
164. Hey, we've got a great show for you this week. I'm not taking away anything from any of the guests we've had ever that come on this show. But I'd be a little bit, I don't know, wrong, I guess, if I didn't say we have some waterfowl royalty with us this week, and I don't want to overshadow Lori Ann, but Lori Ann is here too, and she's pretty. But she's pretty.
I thought you were talking about her.
And Lori Ann's pretty fucking awesome too. Don't get me wrong. But Bryan and Trevor are here, who are half of the crew that went down and done a hunt with Tony Vandemore and Habitat Flats, We're Not Worthy, Wayne's World, the whole bit. And the killer about this, and I'm going to hear about it, trust me, is that Philly went with him on this trip, and he's at a doctor's appointment right now with his son, and he's not able to talk about this. So I know I'm going to fucking hear about it, that he didn't get to come on the show and talk about his trip down to Missouri. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got Trevor Davidson and Bryan Rushton with us, who were half of that crew that went down to Habitat Flats. And last but not least, we have the beautiful Lori Ann Horst, who is the owner, founder of Canadian Sportswoman Society. And Lori Ann had just joined Dave and I last weekend for our first, because we've done a co-ed before, but our first ladies hunt. So Lori Ann's come on, and I'm sort of kind of putting the pressure on her to tell me about what she thought about the ladies camp, and then and she's on camera, so she can't really talk shit about it. Well, I suppose she could, but it wouldn't go over.
You must not know Lori Ann.
Yeah. So anyways, everybody, we've got a great show. So like I said, I don't want to take anything away from any of the guests we've ever had, but for anybody that's been following the union since we've started, we love to surround ourselves with our friends, and our friends are who we have some of our best shows with, or some of our best laughs. So here we go. Before we get into it, though, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the bell and subscribe. And if you're listening, please subscribe to the podcast as well. If you're driving, just make a reminder or something. Phones can do funky things now. Make a reminder to subscribe once you're done driving or something like that. But we really appreciate seeing the numbers climb, and so I'll leave that at that. Bryan, Trevor, Lori Ann, thanks so much for coming on. This was a very long-winded intro to get into it, but thank you so much for coming on. And I know short notice that all three of you are just getting off work and rushing home to come and hang out with me. So I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So I'm gonna start this off because I've got to light a cigar, and so I'm gonna hand it over to Bryan first, because so this is the way it's gonna go. We're gonna talk about this trip down the Habitat Flats, and for anybody that didn't know, about a month ago, I guess, Bryan, or maybe 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, they had put out. Yeah, they had put a contest up on Instagram saying, hey, tag some friends. We're going to pick a winner to come down and have a hunt with us. And lo and behold, it's that fucking beast right there. Bryan Rushton and his best friend, and then he grabbed Trevor and Philly and brought them down. So I'm going to let you. So Bryan, right from the time you found out that you won until, whenever. Just walk us through how that all went down, buddy.
So it was the typical, everybody tags you on stuff on Instagram, and you always just are like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'll give her a shot. Thought nothing of it. So I went out, it was early season Goose. I went out with my best friend, Foster, that came with me on his birthday one morning, Saturday morning. And we got our 2-man limit of geese, and he shot a band on his birthday. So he was all excited, and we went back to his place and had some breakfast and cleaned up some birds. And I was like, well, I'll go scout, see if I can find something for Sunday. So I was out in one of my fields checking it out, and I get a text from Mitch Davis. He's like, oh, congrats. I said, on what, shooting some birds? He's like, no, you won the hunt. And I was like, okay, what hunt are we talking about? He's like, with Tony. I'm like, who the fuck's Tony?
Tony who?
And he's like, he sent me the link, and I'm like, oh, the Tony.
Yeah.
So I watched the video about 38 times to make sure that it was real. And then I called my buddy Foster, and he wouldn't answer the phone, of course, because he never answers the phone. So I texted him 911. He called me right away. And he said, what's up? Are you okay? And I said, yeah, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday again. He's like, really? That was a 911? I said, well, I got you a cool birthday present too. He said, what's that? And I said, oh, I got you a free trip to Habitat Flats. And he's like, oh, come again? I was like, I won the giveaway and you're coming with me. So that's how that all happened.
That's pretty
And then,
amazing.
So by that time, my phone was blowing up. Anybody that knew me was texting me.
Yeah.
And then I got in touch with Philly because I needed a photographer for the trip, of course.
Of course.
And then this knucklehead right here, because he told me that he wanted to hang out with me more. So I figured, hey, what's 5 days stuck in a truck together?
Yeah, that's gonna test any friendship right there. But if you're curious, here's what I took from that whole spiel you just did. If you're curious on if your best friend is actually your best friend, let him win a trip to fucking Habitat Flats. And if he invites you, then yes, you are best friends. But if he doesn't, no, that was just all lip service. That's all that is. That's all that is.
There was never even anything else that I thought of. As soon as I won, I was like, that motherfucker's coming with me.
That's awesome, buddy. That's so Trev, Bryan finds out about it. He reaches out to Philly. He's got Foster. And then he reaches out to you. And I'm guessing you guys go right into fucking overdrive and planning now, right? Because you've got to figure out money-wise, how you're getting down there, how much is going to cost, how long
passports, everything.
Oh yeah, your ATM.
We went in not knowing we were going to the States, right?
Right.
And so me and Lorianne, this is kind of cool that Lorianne's on the show at the same time. Yeah. We were in Long Point doing the blind brush-in day. So you go volunteer, you get fed lunch.
Right.
I go home, get showered, and I'm on my way back.
Yeah.
Bryan calls me or messages me. He's like, call me right now. I'm like, okay, something's up. It's like, you got a little bit of money laying aside. I'm like, are you in jail? Like what happened? Right? Like, I didn't know like the context right away. And then he said it. He's like, you want to go to Habitat Flats? And I just kind of went into autopilot.
Yeah.
I drove 30 minutes in the wrong direction talking to Bryan about what.
Did you really?
Like, oh yeah. Wrong direction completely.
That's
just
awesome.
Talking to Bryan about like, can we do it? It'd be an awesome trip, yada, yada. And then, fast forward 6 weeks. Yeah, it's amazing.
There you go, Tony. I know you listen to the show. So, no, not really. He doesn't listen to the show.
Hopefully he does.
Hopefully he does. But Tony,
he might now.
Yeah, he might now. But there you go. Like if you're wondering if you are indeed a big deal up in Canada, there you go. He just drove 30 minutes in the wrong direction just because he had the opportunity to come down and meet with you. No, that's awesome. So 30 minutes in the wrong direction, talking to Bryan, obviously at some point, you came around and you're like, oh fuck, I went the wrong direction. I got to turn around and stuff. But the whole, I don't think there's a lot of people, and it's not that they don't know or to insult their intelligence. It's just they've never had the opportunity or the need to cross over the border with firearms. But so the ATF forms and stuff, which I done mine, and I think I had mine back in less than a week. From the time I submitted it, I had everything done properly and the way they wanted it. I had it back in less than a week, but talk us through that process of, ensuring you've got everything squared away so that when you do, in fact, get to the border, you're not going to get turned around.
Yeah. So basically, you they want to know everything, right? It's a Form 6E, I want to say. But they want to know everything about you. So address, PAL, all that. You write it all down. They want to know the location where your firearm is built. So if it's in Italy, it's the Italian address.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, that's how you have to do it all. They want to know exactly how many shells and the address of the shell manufacturer, all written down.
Yeah.
So long as you just give them the information they want, it's pretty quick. Like for us, it took, I want to say 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because me and Bryan got it within a day, right? So yeah, it took about 3 weeks, and at the border, just have everything ready, right? Have the guns at the back of the truck, have the ammo at the back of the truck, because if they want to check, you might as well make it easy on yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then they're really quick about it. We crossed in probably less than 10 minutes. And then on the way back, it took maybe, about the same, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Lorianne, I don't want to, to have you on and you're just sitting there listening to these asshats talk about the hunt of a lifetime or anything like that. But and before I go any further, for those of you that are watching, yes, indeed, I did try to get Bryan to remove his fucking shirt and put something else on, but he wouldn't do it. So now here I am stuck looking at that fucking thing. But
man, this is awkward.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Well, welcome to my show, assholes. What? No, seriously. I joke. No, but seriously, Lorianne, I brought you on because I wanted to bounce back and forth between you guys because, we've talked about it so many times that this is such a small community, this whole, especially in Ontario, right? Like it's a small community in North America as it is. But then in Ontario, it's an even smaller group of people, and we're all connected. Like we've all hunted together. We all have partied together and done fundraising dinners together and the whole bit. So I thought it was really cool that you were able to come on and join in because Bryan and Trevor and you've got history with them. But I wanted to touch on the fact that Dave and I we had pulled this ladies hunt together and you had been at us for a couple years to do it and we've sort of had a little bit of reservations and didn't really want to get into it for no other reason than we just, I don't know. I guess it's just being unfamiliar and you're always a little bit nervous about things that you're unfamiliar with, right? But in my opinion, we didn't have the number of girls that we wanted. We would have liked to have a few more girls, but I understand the apprehension. But I would like to think, and trust me when I say this, you have free open forum to say whatever you want here. But I think that the weekend went well. And, and I just from your perspective, and then you talking to the ladies and hearing what they had to say, what was your thought and the girls' thoughts of the weekend?
Honestly, I was just so glad that I could just be a participant instead of like an organizer for once. I love I love being like, I need an adult. I am an adult. I'm an adult to your adult. Like I loved that I was just going with the flow with everyone else. I did like that. We had a blast. I do like that you guys, broke us up into a couple of groups, and you were like, okay, this is your guide. This is your guide. You guys are going to meet up, discuss what time you're meeting up and where, and away you go. And it was awesome. And I would say, for the most part, I would hope, as far as I know, everyone had such a great time. I bunked with Utah. There was a girl from Utah who come up.
Yep. Yeah, no
Up
big
and
deal.
over.
We were international on this one. We brought in a girl all the way from Utah for this one, so no big deal. Just saying.
Yeah, no big deal. I broke in the yank. It was fine.
Yeah. Which
I
is
made
funny.
a little care package.
Which is funny because you guys were calling her a Yank and a Yankee and all this stuff. And I looked at her at one point and I'm like, why do they keep calling you a Yankee? You're from Utah. You're not from fucking New York or like or Boston or anything like that. She was like, yeah, I don't know. She said, I've got so many names this week, and there's Utah, Miss America, America. Yeah, there's so many. And at one point I called out to her and I called her Emma, and she turned and she snapped. She was like, you're the only person that's called me by my name this entire weekend.
Yeah, we called her Yankee Doodle Dandy. We called her all kinds of things. Someone was calling her Oklahoma for the longest while, and I'm like, no, it's Utah. I'm pretty sure it's Utah.
Yeah. Our geography isn't the best, but
yeah,
we
do
know that
get checked for free. It's okay.
Yeah. But no, like it was a good group of girls. And a group of girls that could fucking hold their own, because I know the first night Dave and I were like, fuck this, we're going to bed, because we know we got to get up in the morning and we got to, hunt and stuff. You girls stayed, you girls were up late drinking.
We had a nap. We had a nap before the hunt. That's all you need.
Yeah. So, and I know some people weren't feeling the best the next morning, and and we'll see if she listens to the show, because if she listens,
I hope she does. I'm gonna call her out right now, Nicole Vatchel.
Yeah,
Nicole Vatchel.
What a fucking buddy, she was hurting the next morning.
She was in her own version of Hangman. She was napping in the bench seat of the van the whole ride to the gas station in the morning, and about 10 minutes away, maybe 9 minutes away from where we had to meet, she's like, do you have a bag or something? I think I'm gonna be sick. And I look at the time, I'm like, you have to hold it for 10 minutes. You hold it station yet. Emily Pichet had the windows down, giving her fresh air, and then she passed out. She snuggled in a blankie in the back seat and she passed out, and I was like, okay, well, I guess we have some time now.
That's hilarious. Well, the best was you had sent me the video, because we were in two different groups. You had sent me the video, and I had to look at Jamie, and I was like, who the fuck is this? And she was like, that's Vatchel. I was like, holy, like she was on the bench seat in Lorianne's minivan, like covered up, like just two eyeballs showing. That was it. And she was, she was hurt.
She slept out in the field that day. Like, we're setting up, and all you see is a camo log. She just laying down in the field. No,
but so in all seriousness, though, we brought in this group of girls, a bunch of killers, and I can honestly say a group of killers. There was one girl that Tara that didn't get to shoot. She had some gun problems and stuff throughout the weekend, so she didn't get on the birds as much as she had wanted to. Mm-hmm. But a bunch of killers, because we dropped birds. Like, I didn't shoot. You know what I mean? And you girls piled up birds. I think I counted. I think we had 75 birds down for the weekend.
Yeah.
Considering Saturday we had 60 to 70 km/h winds, so the birds they want it down. Yeah, they wanted in, but the wind was just totally fucking with them, right? So the
one field that we went to, that the windy day, that all the birds had been gathering there for like the last few days. We're like, yes, you know, there's like 500 or 600 birds in the field. We're like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So the one guide, he had some co-workers because there were so many birds. He's like, you know, come hang out with us and help us get these birds. It was so windy. The birds wanted to come. We probably saw close to, you know, 1,000 birds, but they would start to come down and the wind would take them. And they were just constantly trying to come in and gone. So it was really
that's I like how you threw out that number of say 1,000 birds, which, you know, for us when we're sitting in
ton of birds.
That's a ton of birds. Now let's segue over to Bryan and Trevor, and let's talk about how many birds was in the flooded corn that you guys seen on Saturday morning in fucking Habitat Flats. Because I'm guessing you probably had over 200,000 birds in there.
So our guide said conservatively that there was 25,000 ducks in there the night before the hunt.
25,000 ducks. 25,000. That's all the ducks in Ontario.
In that field.
Yeah.
It's probably I don't know. It's tough to say. Probably about a 60-acre field. And when we were driving in, I didn't get any good footage of it. I think Bryan got a little bit. The birds picked up off the roost.
Yeah.
And they damn near blotted out the sun or like the moon. You know what I mean? Like it was,
wow.
All you can hear is wings whistling. And we have a running side by side that we're sitting in, and you can hear the birds flying around. Like it was unreal.
That's insane, eh?
Oh yeah. I need a better camera. That was insane.
But it did, you know, but I think the thing that people need to know and that people may not know, listen, I'm not taking away anything from the amazing flyway that Habitat Flats is in.
Yeah.
But if you follow Tony Vandemore on social media, there is a ton of work put in to getting the birds. And Trevor, before we hit record, before Bryan come on, we had sort of kind of talked about, you know, how big of an operation that is. And you were telling us, and if you could just repeat it so that people can get an idea of just how professional an operation this is. To give them an idea.
So even on the way in, like they move a lot of water, right? So they're putting water to feed all the time. And there's these little levees that surround every field, right? A lot of it's for flood control for the area, but they move that water within Habitat Flats that you can have your flooded corn, and it brings the food up and makes it easier for the birds. And they'll cut a swath out the middle, but there's still, I would say, half the crop is just standing throughout the year. Wow. It's unreal. And if you watch him in the summertime, he's always working, right? He's planting these.
You had said though, you know, leaving the lodge, jump aboard a truck, show up, get dropped off in the truck, then you're in a side by side, you know, travel to the blind, sleigh loads of brand new decoys. Some punts are going.
So to touch on that, you'd be rolling in, you'd see these huge generator systems on trailers, just depending on the setup of the blind itself, it would change it. But yeah, there was a huge whacker generator on a trailer that just was running all night long. And that's pumping the water out of the pit blind, right? Yeah. And making sure that the water level in the field stays where it should be. And then after that, you walk out and there's huge jet sleds just crammed full of brand new decoys. And you get there, you sit down.
Side sometimes.
Yeah, well, we ran ours over the first day. Not bad though; it was all right. And then, like it's something to see, and it's hard to explain, right? Because I'm still in awe just by all of it. Like for me, it's always been about the birds, and I've seen 2 lifetimes worth in the last weekend. So it's unbelievable.
So everybody that's listening, I know they're all wondering, so I'm going to ask on their behalf. Bryan, I'm assuming you didn't pay for a fucking drink the whole trip. You better not have paid for a drink the whole trip.
The drinks were included, buddy.
What?
I said the drinks were included in the package.
Well, okay, so getting there, and Jesus, tell me they done something for you. They had to have done something for you. Like, this is a once in a lifetime fucking opportunity to go down there, right? Tell me the boys were. Actually, I'm not going to go where I was just thinking about going, but
power through it.
You know, like, come on, man. There had to be some benefits here thrown back to you, and you can and the audience can let your imagination run wild on that one all you want.
Not really. Like, I don't know. They offered to help me with stuff, and I said, no, this isn't part of it. This is what it is, right? And as far as once you're down there, like, there's no special treatment for anybody. Everybody was treated like exceptionally well.
Yeah.
It's pretty, I don't know, it's still hard to describe how everything is down there. Once you're there, you're like a family, right? These guides come in every day and eat with you, and everybody just kind of hangs out at the lodge when they're not working, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even one of the highlights for me of the trip was anybody that follows Tony knows that his daughter is a big part of hunting.
Yeah.
So on Saturday morning, she came out for Friday morning she came out for opener, and when they were done, she was chomping at the bit, and Tony's like, "Oh, I gotta go. Viv wants to go shoot a big buck today because it's a youth rifle." So 9 years old, they headed to the deer blind, and then we got the call at dinner time, big buck down. So everybody at the lodge was buzzing. I got a picture of it. So this is what happens in Missouri when a 9-year-old goes out and shoots her first buck.
That's pretty
crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Shot a 150-inch buck like it was nothing.
Yeah. And that set on the wheel
cool,
of that truck telling the story perfectly. Like, that.
Oh yeah,
that
word for word.
Oh shit, that was awesome.
Yeah. Lorianne, you know, to switch back to you now and talk about this ladies hunt and Bryan, it was a nice little segue in it what Bryan done there, you know, talking about Vivian and Vivian, which is Tony's daughter. You know, she's awarded an opportunity that most people don't get, right? Like she's got all this opportunity to go, and she's totally grasped it and took it by the horns, right? But we're seeing, I got to tread lightly here because I this is my opinion, and you can take it for what it's worth, but I know there are a lot of ladies out there that are getting into hunting. I know there are because I see them on my social media, and I know there's a ton of girls out there that's doing it. The difference is and this is me saying it because I think I think there's going to be a lot of females that's going to disagree with me on this. But in my opinion, the ladies aren't willing to turn over the money to come do a hunt like what the guys are. Now, and that's just my opinion. But at the same time, I'm for fuck's sake. We got a chat option here, and Bryan's putting some fucking bullshit on there. But anyways, you know, but like Emily Peach and you and these other girls had said, listen, we didn't get the numbers out this year, because there was some apprehension, right? And you guys, because Dave and I had talked about it, and we were like, you know, do we do this again next year? And we were like, well, we'll see how this weekend goes, and let's see, and then we'll make a call after that. But then talking to you girls during the weekend, I think our weekend just wasn't a good representation of the amount of ladies that wanted to come out. Maybe it was bad timing. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but
I do understand what you're saying about. I also have to tread carefully.
Yeah.
About
like you don't want to sound like an asshole.
Free with they're not as being as free with their purse strings necessarily as a guy would.
Right.
Been my experience that is because for the most
we're
part,
reckless.
who looks after the kids? If they have kids, who looks after the kids?
Yeah, fair.
There are some guys are hands-on parents, and you know, tip my hat to those guys, but not everybody is like that.
No, you're right.
Or, some people, some ladies, they just don't have that excess funds this year, especially coming in because the interest rates went up so much and the cost of living has doubled almost.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately something does have to give, and it's been my experience that
No, it is a good point because the ladies of the relationship 9 times out of 10 are the more responsible, more frugal, manage the money, make sure that we're not taking take the last $20 to buy a box of shells. You know what I mean? So I get that. I just and I had said it to you a number of times throughout the weekend that I just wish that it was just 20 girls. I just wish it was 20 girls and just go out and just fucking shoot a pile of birds, have a pile of pictures. No girls, no girls with their ass hanging out. Doing it, getting pictures for all around, like just a bunch of killers going out, getting their birds, eating good food, having a drink, and having a good time. Right? Like that was our goal. That was our goal. And I think we got the goal. We just didn't get the number of girls, right? And I think next year, I think we've set a bar, and I think next year, and David mentioned, what's today? Today is Thursday. So I think Dave told me on Tuesday, that he said that there's been 2 or 3 girls that had mentioned, hey, listen, fuck, I wish I would have come. I wish I would have, jumped on board with this and the whole bit, right? So hopefully next year we get some bigger numbers, and I know Emma / Utah / Miss America / Murica. I know she's coming back up next year. She said, and she had a blast, which goes to show just how great you girls were to her, because you welcomed her in. You had a care package for her with ketchup, chips, and all the goodies from Canada and stuff like that. But I gotta say, she did not look like she enjoyed those fucking ketchup chips at all.
Hey, listen, it took her. I told her she has to at least have 3 chips to cleanse her palate and get a full taste for them. And then I also had to warn her about making sure you open your mouth wide enough where you get the ketchup cuts on your mouth. And she's like, what? I'm like, just trust the process, just do it. And then by the end of the night, she enjoyed herself.
Trust the process.
Of all the things I heard her say over the weekend, this was the best one. What is the fascination with dill pickle in Canada? She was like, I have never seen so much dill pickle flavoring anywhere other than in Canada. She was like, it's crazy. What's the fascination? I was like, I don't know. Fuck, we like dill pickle, I guess. That's our jam.
No, honestly, it was a great time. Most of the ladies that I talked to, in between hunts, before hunts, even after hunts, everyone had a great time. The guys that you had helping out were great. Everyone was patient. Everyone was kind. Everybody was like a team player, which I would say is rare to have that group of women plus strangers get along so well and mesh so well. And people were able to joke openly and freely and nobody took offense. I may or may not have asked a gentleman if he blushes easy.
Yeah.
He did. I was like, excellent. Come sit by me.
Poor bastard. No, but I tell you what, another thing, and this is a feather in the hat of the ladies, how professional they were, because Saturday morning, there were a lot of birds in both fields that could have been shot had the wind been a little bit lighter. And I never heard, and obviously they probably weren't going to complain to me, but I never heard anybody complaining about the fact that well, you should have set up the decoys like this. You should have done
Oh,
this.
yeah,
You
yeah.
should, which if it was a bunch of dudes, guaranteed that's the way it would have been.
Yeah.
There'd been
Yeah.
fucking 10 guys going, well, you should have went this way and you should have done this and you shouldn't have been calling here and right. There would have been a million different excuses
Yeah.
or reasons why the birds didn't work. As for the girls, they were just like, oh well, it's called hunting for a reason. It's not called shooting.
Killing.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
legit. And we're all understanding of the fact that you can't predict birds. You can't predict the weather. You can't predict what they landed over here today. Now they're landing, 100 yards behind us or whatever. All
Yeah.
you can do is play the hand that you're dealt that day and that morning. And there was nothing anybody could do with that wind that day.
yeah, yeah. Bryan, Trevor told me before we hit the record button, but I want to hear from you and maybe you can let us know what how Foster and Philly done as well. But mixed bag, any birds that you shot down there that you got off your list that you've never ever shot before up in Ontario? Bryan.
Are you sleeping?
Oh, my connection's a little laggy, I think.
Hold on, buddy, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
That's
Love
a mixed
Richie.
bag. Opening morning, we shot
Now, buddy, you're all. I'm gonna kick. Hey, Bryan, I'm gonna kick you out. Come back on.
that was off my list.
I'm gonna kick you out. Come back on. Because or maybe you're better now. Oh, he gone.
He gone.
Trev, tell me about your mixed bag, buddy. First morning.
Yeah, so first morning, we kind of we didn't want to shoot teal, right? We knew that there was going to be essentially an unlimited amount of teal kicking by, and there was. It was insane. So the guy would tell us, green wings coming in. Not one of us would pop up to shoot them. Like we said, like, no, we're shooting big ducks. Like we're not doing this. So then in total, this was not a very long hunt. It was only about an hour, and that was with us just hanging out in the morning time. I got a spoonbill, I got a pintail, I got a widgeon, a mallard, a gadwall, and one teal.
That's a mixed bag.
Talk about a mixed bag.
Yeah, that's a
and
mixed bag.
I did post a video Foster took of me whacking that teal. That you can only shoot one teal there. So it's actually pretty challenging to hit your limit because you can only hit 4 mallards, 2 of which can be hens. So you really got to start picking your birds properly.
Oh, wow.
3 wood ducks, gadwall you could shoot a whole limit of. And spoonbill, it was a free for all, right? And teal, you're good to go. But like I said, we were really trying to avoid shooting those. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but we want to shoot other ducks, right?
Yeah, of course.
And at no point were we concerned about shooting those. Like it was, you just had to pick them out in the sky, right? That's all it was.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
That's it. That's impressive. I hope Bryan comes back on, but he might be having some technical difficulties.
I'm sure he'll get back.
That's so Trevor, do you have that list? Like I've got it, what's it called? The Ultimate Waterfowlers Challenge, the official North American waterfowl species list. Like, are you like crossing them off?
Yeah, I don't have it near me right now, but
no.
I crossed 2 off on this trip.
Okay, and that was your pintail and
the shoveler
and the spoonie. Yeah. So and for anybody that's listening from California, and I know you guys get them by the hundreds down there, and nobody shoots spoonies and the whole bit. But for us, it really is Hollywood, right? Like that, it is Hollywood for us. So, So don't be hating on Trev for being excited about getting a spoonie because I'd be pretty excited if I shot a spoonbill too.
Yeah, you just don't see him here, right? It's just the flyway.
That's right. Lorianne, so with regards to he's back.
He's back.
Well, now we got to go through the 10 minutes of him figuring out his audio again.
Maybe he changed his shirt for you.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
Because he knows it drives me bananas, so he's gonna fucking wear it anyways.
I should have put mine on.
I know. I'm surprised. And then Trevor's there, and at least Trevor's wearing a Punisher t-shirt.
Figure I had to represent for you, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I tell you what was cool though. Was Emily Peace showing up with one of the original Punisher tank tops for the ladies from way back in the day. That was fucking cool. Hey, how are you now, Bryan? He gone.
Not great.
He's
Not
like,
great.
peace out.
Peace out. Peace out. No,
Later, nerds.
all in all, you know, it was for me, I got to sit back and take and watch from the sidelines two great events, right? So I was part of the ladies hunt, but it was my event and mine and Dave's. So I was stood back watching that. At the same time, stood back watching Bryan and Trev and Philly and Foster go down to Missouri and do that hunt. And I gotta say, it was pretty amazing to sit back and just watch, regardless of what your thoughts are, and regardless of, you know, the money that it costs in order to do this, right? So it costs money to come hunt with Dave and I. It costs money to go down to Missouri with Tony and Habitat Flats. Regardless of the money, it was pretty awesome to sit back and watch the love of hunting on full display. And that's only, you know, only two groups, right? That's a group of girls and then a group of friends that went down. Bryan's back. I'm gonna kick you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now your sound is awesome, buddy.
Oh, sounds perfect.
I'm gonna remove that other thing that's up there, Bryan. So Bryan, tell me about your mixed bag, buddy.
So opening day, which was the Saturday that we were down there, was opening day in Missouri. We ended up shooting 7 different species of ducks. None of which were first for me, I don't think, other than like some of them I had never shot drakes before, so there was that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was just it was cool seeing that many different species of ducks in a hunt.
Yeah. Well, and I would think, Bryan, like, and I know you had said like it wasn't the first for you on some of the species, but then I don't like I know Trevor hit a couple species, new ones, but like for Foster and Phil, did they hit anything that was new to them?
I don't think so.
What about your penny, Trev? Was that like full sprig, or was it just?
Oh no, it is the most juvenile thing I've ever seen in my life. That is
so you
not
know what
the point.
Did you bring it back with you?
Yeah, plucked and gutted. Yeah.
Oh no. I would have left that thing as is, and then hit Lake Ontario and shot an old squaw and plucked the tail off it and pinned it right.
Yeah. Just piece it together. I got an old squaw mount. I could probably pluck it off, but
yeah, that's what I would have. That's what I would have fucking done. No doubt.
Juvenile sprig.
Yeah. But no, Bryan, sorry. Yeah. So Phil, Foster, they didn't knock anything special off their list.
Not that I'm aware of, other than Phil shot a sprig widgeon, or not a sprig, like a stud widgeon, so he's getting that mounted.
Okay.
I don't know if I can share that photo or not, but it is a beauty.
Oh, I'm sure.
Absolute beauty.
Well, I haven't seen it, so that tells me that there's a picture of that bird that's
about to be posted.
Yeah, that Phil's got on his editing software. That he's gonna make sure it looks the best that it can.
It's his bird. That's why I haven't posted
it. Yeah. So I'm knowing Philly, I would think he's got probably 50,000 pictures of it, and he's got to scroll through all of them and get it through Adobe and get it and find all the adjustments and everything before he makes that post. But I don't know, man. Like I said, Bryan, while you were waiting to get back on, it was pretty special for me and Dave, and we had we had started to chat with you guys while you were down there. It was pretty special for us to sit back and watch and listen to Lori Ann and all the girls, and they were doing their posting, and then watch you guys with your posting and you know, showing lodge life down there and the whole bit. It was two totally different dynamics, right? Like here we are up in Renfrew County in the Ottawa Valley, in a hotel with a conference room, Lori Ann. And listen, don't get me wrong, it was great. It was comfortable, it was great and stuff. But then on the other side of the spectrum, we're looking at you guys down at a lodge, and Trevor sending pictures of breakfast with his, you know, biscuits and gravy and the whole
it was
bit.
greasy.
And I just, you know, but again, the love, this passion of hunting birds, like I feel sorry for people that don't understand what it is. And it's not about the killing. Like, listen, it is at the
that's part of it for sure.
At the bare bones of it, we're killing.
Yeah,
we're killing one of God's creations. But that's not like I don't get off on killing things. Do you know what I mean? Like I get it's such a weird thing to try and describe to somebody that doesn't know what it's like to watch the sun come up and watch 25,000 ducks blot out the sun. For somebody that's never ever hunted, they have no idea what it's like to leave Utah, come into Canada, get picked up by a dude that you've only met online just by chatting because they both work.
Red flag.
Well, so Eugene went and picked Emma up at the airport. Like both of them work for Traeger Grills. But they've only ever chatted online. So like they didn't know one another. So she flew in. He went down and picked her up at the airport in Ottawa and brought her up. And then she had to hang out with all of us where she never met any of us other than a group chat. And there was some stuff talked about in that group chat that I was like, if she's still coming after this group chat, then she's cool, because there was some stuff going on that group chat that I was like, man, it makes me blush. So, you know, it's for anybody that doesn't hunt. I don't know if they will ever understand just how special these trips are. I really don't think that they will.
So my wife doesn't get it. So when I won this trip, she's like, I don't understand what it is. Like it's just a hunting lodge. It's just that. So I said, let me break it down to you in terms that you will understand. I said, this is the equivalent of you getting invited to go to Hogwarts Castle to do magic spells with Harry fucking Potter.
Yeah.
That's what that trip was for me.
Yeah. For me too.
Yeah. I could fucking get that.
It's like a thing of myth, and then it actually happens.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, listen, I'm not going to pretend to be fucking Tony Vandemore or Habitat Flats in what Dave and I put together. We put together, I think, a great weekend, and we have a lot of fun, and people get to shoot birds. But listen, the amount of people that are hunting ducks and geese in North America that get a chance to go sit in that lodge, buddy, it is a fraction of the total number of duck hunters in North America. So for you guys to get to and to win it is even more impressive.
And to be duck opener is even more impressive.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
which I didn't know when you first won that it was the actual duck opener. Which
I think it's a 2-year wait list just to slide into one of those spots.
Is that right?
And that's if you are paying full amount. Like it's very fortunate, very fortunate. And I thank Tony for the opportunity and Bryan. Like it's just freaking awesome. Right? Once in a lifetime.
Guys, like I said before we hit the record button, I've got another meeting that I've got to do. So we're gonna start tidying this up. Lorianne, you know, I know we spent a lot of the time talking about the trip down the Habitat Flats and
All good. It was awesome
no,
to
but
hear.
I wanted to give you, because you and I had spent a lot of time chatting over the weekend, and even this week we've spent a lot of time going back and forth, and I got to tell you that I am extremely proud of you, and I'm extremely proud of what you've done with the Canadian Sportswomen's Society. And I've told you,
Yes.
and I know you've brought it up to me, but I've told you a number of times, and I sincerely mean it. At some point, someone is going to present you with an opportunity, and you have to take it. And that means you're going to end up leaving smucks like me behind. But trust me, I am not going to be upset. I'll be the first one. I'll be the first one clapping and applauding you and happy for you that you're succeeding. I think you're doing absolutely amazing. I still don't understand the fascination with squirrels, but you know what?
They're delicious.
That's your thing. You and Steve fucking love them. So but no, seriously, I'm extremely proud of what you've done, and I know it hasn't been easy because you've had a ton of barriers and a ton of people throw shade at you, and you've always been the consummate professional, held your head high, and just kept on doing what you're doing, and it shows, because I think everybody that threw shade on you, well, they're gone the way of the dodo bird, and you're still here. And that's a testament to your resilience.
I really appreciate that. I didn't get here by myself. I had a lot of people helping and supporting me throughout the way, including you guys. And I just, like, thank you. It's very humbling. I appreciate your kind words.
That's awesome. I shut her up. She's got nothing to say. That's awesome.
Tell me nice things and I don't know what to do.
No, that's wicked. Trev, buddy, I'm extremely happy for you that you got to take part in this and witness it. I know you've never been out west, and this is pretty. It's still not Saskatchewan, but I tell you, it's a very fucking close second. I can tell you that.
Well, we've already been in talks about the next trip, so we'll see what happens next.
Don't you worry, buddy. We're going to gear something up for next fall. We've got a plan, or I have an idea, I should say. Bryan, buddy, congratulations on winning. Congratulations on picking an absolute beauty of a crew to go down with. I don't think you could have picked a better bunch of fellas to go down and appreciate everything that trip meant. So congratulations to you. I love reading all the posts. And what I loved was that, so anybody that's not from Ontario, we have like our Facebook groups in Ontario, like Ontario Waterfowlers and the whole bit. Like, this was such a fucking big deal that the boys were down there. Like, they were posting it on those community groups, and everyone is just, and no one was throwing shade. Everybody was like, "Oh man, that's amazing! You guys are down there. Good luck!" And everybody was cheering you on, and it was so good to see that there was a bunch of love sent towards you for that hunt, and just, you know, good on you. So, last word to you guys, and then I'll finish it up. So, Bryan, to you first, buddy.
Well, thanks for having us on. I had fun, and it was nice to tell the story. And I guess it's kind of not done because Trevor won a trip to hunt with Rich Fanning for this weekend, and well, he didn't really have a choice. He had to take me. So
yeah. Could you imagine? I want a trip down with Rich Fanning. Oh yeah, who's going with you? Oh, some schmuck that I just met off the street. Yeah.
So yeah, we're heading out there tomorrow. So
that's awesome. Well, and Rich always puts on a good time and is very, very accommodating and looks after his guests. So I know you're going to have a great time down with Rich and his wife, whose name is totally
Brittany.
Jesus, I was
Yeah,
thinking
Brittany.
Elise. I was for some reason I'm thinking Elise, but that's like her. That was like her maiden name or
That's her
something.
middle name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's her middle name.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, it's
Oh,
not
Jesus
Elise.
Christ, Lorianne knows her middle name.
Yeah. Well, it's on her
I do.
Facebook, but it's on her Facebook. You know what, Bryan, buddy? No, that's awesome, and I appreciate you coming on, even though you came on with that shirt. Trev.
No, thanks for having me on. It's always awesome to sit down with you guys and just, shoot the shit, right? Have a couple of beers and just have a good time. And yeah, thanks again to Bryan, because that was fucking solid move. Inviting me to that trip. That was awesome.
Yeah. Honestly, I was so jealous that you guys won and had a great time. But at the same time, I also then got to have a great time with Punisher Waterfowl Camp this weekend, and just a great time.
This episode does not tell you how much we buy into the idea of surround yourself with good people and good things will happen to you, then I don't know what will. We are Punisher Waterfowl. We're not experts. We'll never pretend to be. We are just a group of friends that love talking duck hunting, waterfowl hunting, and surrounding ourselves with good people. Don't be douchebags to one another. Big love. Until next week.